So the question is that we have to find the longest common subsequence. Now to find this, we are going to use a DP array. We start by getting the length of text 1 and getting the length of text 2, and then we assign a full DP grid the same way we do it for other questions. Now for I in range 1, m plus 1, we are starting with 1 because the first row and the first column is already filled with zeros. For j in range 1 all the way until n plus 1, if text 1's I minus 1 is equal to text 2 j minus 1, which means if the characters match. If the characters match, then we will pick the diagonal value, which is on the top left. So I minus 1, j minus 1, and because the characters match, that's why we are adding 1, because it's a shared character. We are picking this character, so we add plus 1. Else, if not, if the characters don't match, so which means we're not going to add this plus 1 that we're adding from picking the shared character. Instead, we will pick the max value from the column behind us. So same row with this column behind us, or a row above and the same column. So dp of I minus 1j or dp of I j minus 1. So that is top or left, and then we just return dp mn. Now if you look at every single point, you are only considering what is on top and what is on left or the diagonal, right? So dp of I minus 1 j minus 1, dp of I minus 1 j, or dp of I j minus 1. These are the only three values that you're considering before making any decision. However, so that means that we do not need to keep a track of the whole grid. Instead, we can optimize it for space and just keep a track of one row. Now, whenever we have done previous space optimization questions as well, we always lose this diagonal value. Therefore, we're going to use a previous variable, and I've solved this over here. So we're going to use a previous variable. Now over here in this question, I'm also using another workaround, which is if length of text 1 is less than length of text 2, then we swap it. So that guarantees that text 2 will be the shortest text. So because we are returning the common subsequence, that means we are going to return the shortest one automatically. So we don't need to iterate through the longest string. Instead, we can just return the shortest one because that's the common one. The extra characters, we don't care. Like, our answer needs to be the length of the shortest one. Mn length of text 1, text 2, dp of 0 n plus 1. So this is the text 2's length, and that's what we are going to return for I in range 1 m plus 1. Now the value that we are at, which is dp of 0, we are storing it at in the previous variable, and then we iterate through this loop. So for j in range 1 n plus 1. Now this dp is technically, what is it? It is dp of I minus 1 j. This is the value. So this is this value that we are storing. This is the value that we are storing, because at this point, this row that we are iterating through, it will already hold a value from the previous value, and at this point we have not calculated dp of j, right? So because it is already holding the value from the previous row, we can just store it. So if text 1 I minus 1, text 2 j minus 1, if these characters match, then this dp of j, now at this point we are recalculating it, right? So this dp of j will be previous plus 1, so the diagonal value that we stored before we came to this value. So we stored one value and then we iterated to the next column this stored value is your dp of I minus 1 j minus 1 previous, and then we add plus 1 for the shared character, or else dp of j, it will be the max of dp of j minus 1. So dp of j minus 1 is your value that was in the previous column. So dp of dp of I j minus 1, this is that value, and dp of j is just you have not computed it, so technically it's the value that is in dp of I minus 1 and j minus 1, so technically the value that you are storing over here. And then you now at this point, when this line ends, your dp of j will now hold your new computed value, right? So now this is changed. So dp of j no longer holds this dp of I minus 1 j value. So now you will reassign this temporary variable, so the dp of j that you stored this value, to the previous, because in the next iteration this will be your diagonal value, and then you just return the last value of the dp array.